Come on in. Good evening, everyone. I got a couple of things going on. Welcome to Stock Live with Tim. Um, for this Tuesday, November the 17th, 2020. It is not my intention to be on very long on tonight. As you know, we were on last night, so we just want to kind of recap from last night, some of the things from last night, and then we'll see where we go from there. All right, so we're not going to be on long tonight at all. And recap from last night, some of the things from last night from you tonight. Hope everyone is doing well. Again, it's good to be back. It's not good to be back in the cold weather after leaving Florida on Saturday, but to be back home once again, it's good to be back home. Hope everyone is safe. So let's talk about the stock market for this Tuesday, November the 17th, 2020. And forgive me for looking round and about. I have a bunch of recordings going on here, so to put on the different platforms. So forgive me for looking from 2 or 3 different directions, and hopefully I remember to look at all of the different cameras and talk to all of the different cameras. Let me know if you're on. Let me know if you are on. Say hey, say hello, say what's up, so that I can know that you're there, so we can speak to you. For those who are overseas, Alaska, Germany, Hawaii, Japan, Korea, and some places that I can't even mention, that some of my followers are over there in those secret places. So hope all is well with you. Hurry back home to these United States of America, and we're praying for you over there. All right. Let's talk about the stocks that did the top 10 stocks that did very well today on the market. The top 10, which we do every night, just about every night. So let's start with the top 10. Again, it's Tuesday night, so Tuesdays are usually reserved for beginners. So for those of you who are watching or will be watching, for those of you who are not beginners, this is not your night. This is more for beginners, those who are just starting out. And of course, we reserve Thursday for the advanced stuff on Thursday night. So let me start with the top 10 stocks that did well in the market today. The top 10 stocks that did well. And then, of course, from there, we'll go on and move over to the top 10 stocks that did not do very well today on the market. All right, so we'll do it like that. All right, first of all, SL Green Realty, the ticker is SLG. They closed today at $60.26. They gained $3.56 today during the market. They do not trade aftermarket. They do pay dividends of 5.382%. So we always talk about those stocks with dividends. You should grab those stocks with dividends, particularly if they're not expensive. If they're not too expensive, buy low and then hold. Of course, because when the stocks goes up, you're making money for the stocks when it goes up. And then, of course, when dividends are paid out every quarter or once a year, whatever the case may be, you will receive the dividends as well, and then we'll talk more about that later on. All right, Ralph Lauren Polo, the ticker is RL. They closed today at $83.46. They went up today by $4.76. They lost 64 cents aftermarket. They do pay dividends of $3.543%. So grab some of those those Ralph Lauren Polo. Grab some of those. I would if I were you. The third one is Vontier. The ticker is VNT. They closed today at $30.64. They went up today by $1.53 today. During the market, they do not trade aftermarket, nor do they pay dividends. So that one is not an expensive one. $30.64. It's one of them that I don't have. As a matter of fact, I just found out about that on today. All right. Devon Energy. The ticker is DVN. They closed today at $13.10. They went up today by 58 cents. And then another 1 cent after market. They do pay dividends, $3.396% dividends. So if I were you, I would grab some of those. Again, we said that it's not expensive. This Devon Energy, it's going to skyrocket in the spring of next year for the most part. PVH is number 5. Number 5, PVH. The ticker is PVH. They closed today at $78.94. They went up by $3.42 today during the market. They do not trade aftermarket, and they have a small amount of dividends they do pay at 2.214%. Number 6, Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab. They closed today. I'm sorry, the ticker is SCHW. SCHW. They closed today at $48.51. They went up today by $2.01 during the market, and then another 39 cents after market. They do pay a small amount of dividends at 1.543%. If I were you, I would grab some of Charles Schwab, but they grow kind of slow. They're slow growth stock. They do grow, but it's slow growth. So I have to have patience with that one. The next one, which is number 7, is Tapestry. Tapestry, the ticker is TPR. They closed today at $28.46. They went up by $1.17 today. They do not trade aftermarket. They do pay pretty good dividends, 5.125%. So if I were you, that's another one that I would grab a hold of if I were you. Number 8 is Renato Realty Trust. The ticker is VNO. They closed today at $41.49. They went up by $1.56 today. They do not trade aftermarket. And then, of course, they do pay pretty good dividends, 6.518%. Grab some of these ones that are doing well and pay big dividends, so you're making a whole lot of money. And, of course, number 9 is Diamondback Energy. We see the energy companies are doing pretty good, so research those energy companies. Energy companies, they usually do well this time of the year, particularly when it's getting cold. And because we know a lot of people, energy bill goes up this time of the year. So if I were you, I would grab some of Diamondback Energy, which the ticker is FANG. They went up today, they closed today at $37.25. They went up today by $1.38 today during the market, but lost 6 cents after market. They do pay pretty good dividends of 3.906%. So if I were you, grab some of that Diamondback Energy. And then finally, on the top 10, that's what we're talking about. For those of you who are just getting on, we're talking about the top 10, those who did well in the top 10 of the market today. The last but not least, Boeing, the airline company, air production, that is, not just flying, but air production. Boeing, their ticker is BA. They closed today at $211 even. They went up by $7.65. They gained 95 cents today during the market. They do pay dividends of 2.197%. They do pay dividends. So Boeing is not a bad one to have. We know Boeing was nearly at $400 before we had this coronavirus to come up in March of this year. So it will go back there. So if I were you, I would grab some Boeing, and we will talk about buying in dollar amounts in just a moment. Those were the top 10s. Those were the top 10. Deborah, I see you there. Hello. Michelle Timoni, I see that you're there. And Mrs. Nunez, I see that you're there. Hello to all of you. Thank you for joining us here on Stocks Talk Live. All right. Those were the top 10. Let's go to the bottom 10. Those stocks that did not do too well on the market today, the bottom 10. Number 1, Walgreens. Walgreens, the ticker is WBA. They closed today at $40.10. They lost $4.24 today, and then they lost another 25 cents after market. Walgreens do pay dividends at 4.308. So Walgreens, to be honest with you, is not a bad one to have because it's low. It's going to go back up. All of the pharmaceutical companies will go back up. Walgreens. And we see all of the pharmaceutical company is not doing well at this time. Because the next one, number 2 on the list of those that did not do well, the top 10, number 2 is CVS. CVS closed, the ticker is CVS. They closed today at $67.37. They lost $6.33 today during the market and another 23 cents after market. They do pay dividends of 2.817%. I have a whole lot of CVS. I suggest you grab some of CVS. I think I've had CVS since they were like $22, and now they are at $67.37. Number 3 of the top 10 that did not do well today. Number 3 is Boston Scientific, which the ticker is BSX. They closed today at $35.10. They lost $3 today during the market, but it went up 6 cents after market. They do not pay dividends. Now, that's a good one to have, Boston Scientific at $35. Just because the stocks is not doing well That's great. That's a great opportunity to purchase what you do not have already. When it drops, that's a good time to purchase it because it's going to go back up. Trust me. Number 4 of the top 10 that did not do well today is Cardinal Health. The ticker is CAH. They closed today at $54.68, and then they lost $3.79 today. During the market, they do not trade aftermarket, but they pay dividends of 3.368%. And then we'll explain about the dividends because this is for beginners tonight, so we'll explain that later on. Number 5, right in the middle, number 5 of the top 10 that did not do well today is McKesson. McKesson, the ticker is MCK. They closed today at $174.25 today during the market. And then, of course, they lost $10.02 today during the market. And then they went up by 61 cents after market. They pay a small amount of dividends of 9.902%. Number 6 is Amarin. The ticker is AEE. They closed today at $80.60 per share. They went down by $3.73 per share. They do not trade after market, but they pay dividends of 2.411. If you see something here that I'm mentioning, all of these, the good ones that did well today, as well as the ones that did not do well today, most of them, for the most part, they do pay dividends. So look into that. Number 7 of the top 10 that did not do well today, number 7 is Pinnacle West. Pinnacle West, the ticker is PNW. They closed today at $86.78. They lost $3.66 during the market today. They do not trade after market. They do pay dividends 3.552%. So that's Pinnacle West. Great one to have if you're not in there yet, or to grab some of it. All right. Number 8 is American Water. American Water. The ticker is AWK. They closed today at $159.29. They lost $6.26 during the market today per share. During the market today, they do not trade after market. They do pay a small amount of dividends of 1.302%. Number 9 of the top 10. Number 9 is AmerisourceBergen. AmerisourceBergen. The ticker is ABC. They closed today at $104.89. They lost $4.12 today during the market. They do not trade after market, but they do pay dividends of 1.535%. So that's a good one to have. All of those pays dividends. And then, of course, the last one, number 10 of the top 10 that did not do well today is Regeneron. Regeneron, which the ticker is REGN. They closed today at $539 even, and they lost $21 per share tonight. That would have been a good one to have a put in. And since it's beginner's night, we won't talk about puts tonight, but they lost another 85 cents after market, nor do they do not pay dividends. They don't pay dividends, so all of those. So some of the things I wanted to mention tonight, all of the following stocks. Let me talk about these following stocks. All of the following stocks fell today. Meaning that they did not do well today. Apple fell today. Moderna fell today. Facebook fell today. All of the Apple, Moderna, which is mRNA, Facebook fell today. NIO fell, but for the most part today, but then it went back up just before the markets closed, and then it was going up after market. But so it ended up closing at one again. NIO gained $1.01 today during the market, and they lost 81 cents today after market. So that's to be mindful of. All right, and then Tesla, we know Tesla did very well on at the closing after market on last night, but it gained, and so it gained $33.52 today and lost $3.35 after market. So and then Chipotle and Amazon, both they gained today. Both of those they gained today. Google, however, lost $12.37 today on the market. All right, but Google is a good one to get in. We know that it's expensive. We'll talk more about that later on. All right, then the next one is Verizon. Was down by 14 cents, so that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Verizon is a good stock to have. It's a good stock to invest in, but it's a slow growth stock. One of those stocks that it really takes patience to stick with Verizon because they grow very slow. They grow, but grow very slowly. All right. And now another one is DKNG, which is a great stock to have as well as a great It makes a great play option for those who wants to play with options or betting against the market. And we'll talk about that more on Wednesday night, as well as Workhorse or WKHS. Workhorse did very well today. So look into that one. Look into that one. The next one, Zoom, Netflix, Berkshire A and B, and Microsoft, Ralph Lauren. All, as I mentioned earlier, all of those did very well today. All of them did very well today. So look into those. Nike is doing very well. They gained $2.10 today to close at $132.21. And then we can't forget about to buy stock. The fact that we can buy stocks in dollar amount. You don't have to buy the entire stock if you can't afford it. We mentioned that on last night and just about every night that some of the stocks are rather expensive: $3,000 per share, $2,000 per share, $1,000 per share. You don't have to buy the entire stock. Again, you can buy in the whole stock for that amount or those amount as I mentioned, or you can buy them in dollar amounts. So if you purchase it in dollar amount, at least you will be in it. So when the stock makes money, you will make money too because you will be in there already. The airlines did not do very well today as expected. We expected some of the airlines to do well, but they did not do well. American Airlines, Delta Airlines, United Airlines, however, the cruise liners did well, especially Carnival, which closed today at $17.74 for a gain of 48 cents per share today, but they lost 31 cents today after market. Now we know that the market is usually, for the most part, the market is usually not good on Tuesdays. Today is Tuesday, so we kind of expected that. For a while there today, I was really gaining a whole lot of money, I guess, till right before lunch, and then it started dropping, but I closed in the positive. So that's we have that to be thankful for. All right, for beginners, we're talking stocks. When you purchase the stocks, you own the stocks. If you purchase 10 shares of whatever particular stock you have, you own that stock. And whenever that stock goes up, you're making money. But the bad thing about it, of course, and what's to be mindful about, when it loses money, you're losing money. For example, let me give you an example. We just mentioned, let me take one of them that we mentioned a little while ago. Let me go back to the list here. Let's see one that that did well today in the top 10, and it's not expensive. Let's go to Devon Energy. Devon Energy, where the ticker is DVN. The ticker is DVN. They closed at $13.10 today. So if you buy one share of that stock, it will cost you $13.10 tomorrow. Now, if you buy 10 shares, it'll cost you $131 or something like that. $13 times 10 or whatever, $131. So when that stock goes up, when that $13 stock goes up to $15, for example, now what you paid $13.10 for is now worth $15. So the difference between $13.10 and $15 is what you would have made per stock. So if you have one, you would have made that for that one. Or if you have 10, you would have made that times 10 for that particular stock. You own it until you sell it. With stocks, you can buy and sell them all day without being penalized. There's no penalty for selling earlier. There's no penalty whatsoever for selling earlier. And for if you want to sell it, some of it, all of it, whatever the case may be, is totally up to you. There are no penalties for selling the stock. Of course, we said on the other end, when that stock that you paid $13.10 for, if it loses money, let's say it's worth $13.10 when you bought it, and now it's worth $13. Well, you lost 10 cents. So if you have 10 of them that you paid $131 for, if you lost 10 cents per share, that's pretty much you lost $1. So that's how that works with the stocks. Now, those are stocks. Those are not what we're going to talk about on Thursday night, trade option, where you bet against the market. And I'm trying not to get into that tonight because some people they're intentional, meaning that they're going to come on tonight for me to not get ahead of them and not talk too much over their heads. And so I'm going to try to talk to just the beginners tonight, and not the advanced people or individuals, all right, or bloggers. All right. So let me go back to stocks again. And of course, The longer you hold the stock, some people want to buy the stock, and as soon as they see they've made some money, then they want to sell. No, hold on to it for a while. Hold on to it for a while. Imagine those individuals who had stocks like Tesla and Chipotle, et cetera, since they were in the 20s and 30s dollars. And then, of course, we know at one point Tesla $700 and something dollars, and then they split. All right, so you got to let it grow. You got to let it grow over a period of time. And of course, once you have, let's say, 10 of them, if you want to buy 10 more, the price will probably be higher. You're going to have to buy it at that day's price or that time's price that you're purchasing it. And it's best to purchase the stocks during the market hours. And the market's open from 9:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's best to purchase Monday through Fridays only, no holidays, no weekends. All right. So it's best to purchase it during the market hours. That way, you will know what that particular stock cost, and then your stuff will execute as soon as you purchase it. All right, because if you put it in now to purchase it at $13.10, for example, in the aftermarket already has that beyond $13.10. When it opens up tomorrow morning, it's not going to execute for you because where you're trying to purchase it, it's already beyond that. If that makes sense, let me try that again. If you go on now and try to purchase a stock aftermarket, and then either pre-market tomorrow morning or aftermarket this afternoon, it went up. When the market opens tomorrow morning at 9:30, if it's not at that price, you're not going to get it. You can't purchase the stocks for $13.10, and now when the market opens tomorrow, it's already at $13.50. It's not going to execute. So that's why I usually ask people, especially when you're new, to purchase those stocks during the market hours. Now, yes, you can purchase after market hour, but you've got to make sure that you look in the morning to see that it executed. And if it did not execute, I suggest that you sell it and rebuy it. Okay? Once you sell it, they're going to put that money back into your buying power, and then you can rebuy that stock if you so desire. All right? So please be mindful of that. And then we mentioned dollar amounts. You can buy a stock in whatever the dollar amount is. For example, if you look at, we mentioned earlier that Boeing is at $211 even. That's what it costs Boeing. Well, maybe you don't have the $211 to buy one share. Well, maybe you just want to purchase $50 worth. So you can purchase dollar amounts or the entire stock. The entire stock will cost you $211. But when you're purchasing dollar amount, you can purchase a dollar amount for whatever amount, all right? Of course, it wouldn't make any sense to purchase $300 worth of a stock that costs $211 when you could just buy that one stock for $211. But anytime you want to buy less than, now I'm not saying that should not be done, because we know the millionaires and the billionaires, they do that. When we're going in there and look at how much a particular stock costs, and they're going in and they're buying $20 million worth of a particular stock. So whatever that amounts to be, that's what they're doing. They're not really buying 20 shares or 30 shares or 40 shares or 50 shares. They're purchasing dollar amounts. They're purchasing $20 million worth of Apple or $50 million worth of CVS or whatever the case may be. So it pretty much adds up to the same thing when you think about it. So the dollar amount to me helps the beginners and those who does not have the capital, those who does not have the buying power to purchase the stock, all of it. So you want to just purchase the dollar amount, certainly you may do that. All right, and then of course when you purchase the stock, you're purchasing the stock, you own the stock. You own it until you sell it. You own the particular stock until you sell it. Once you sell the stock, then of course they put that money back into your buying power. You can sell some of it or all of it. Of course, those of us who've been on for a while, when they had the split between Apple and Tesla, and those of us, we bought a whole lot of Apple and bought a whole lot of Tesla, we own those stocks. So we can sell some of it and make money, or all of it and get all of our money. And of course, as long as you own the stock, it belongs to you. It belongs to you until you sell the stock. Again, we're not talking trade options tonight. We're not talking trade option. Tuesday nights are for beginners, and so we're sticking with just talking about at the beginner's level. Let me put it like that. Again, for those of you who are just getting on, once again, let me say to you, welcome to the Stock Talk Live with Tim. And then again, let me remind you to make sure that you go to our YouTube channel, go over and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can get those up to the moment notices that I'm doing during the day when the stock market is open, and then I'm sitting here watching the market, and if I see something that I think my watchers or my viewers or my listeners or whatever the case may be, or bloggers should know, then I'll get on and I'll put it on YouTube. And as long as you subscribe to the channel and click the little bell, you will get to notice when I'm telling people it's best that you go buy something or buy more of something, or do a trade option. And again, I'm trying to stay away from trade because that's for tomorrow. Thursday night. All right. So that's what we pretty much do during the market hours. I'm looking at the market, and if I feel that you need to know something, it's better to put it on YouTube so that you get that up to the moment notice, rather than to put it on Facebook Live, because the live won't notify you immediately like YouTube will. YouTube will notify you immediately as soon as I make the post that you should go buy some Apple or buy some whatever the case may be. Now, we mentioned earlier the pharmaceutical companies, for the most part, are not doing very well. That's not a bad thing. We'll talk more about that on Thursday night. But for the stockers, those who are purchasing the stocks, Walgreens is not doing well. It lost a lot of money today. CVS lost a lot of money today. That's not a bad thing, because you want to get those stocks while it's low. While it's dropping, you do want to get those while it's dropping. That way, you will be in when it goes back up. All right, so Walgreens, again, today closed at $40.10 per share because they lost $4.24 per share. But the thing about Walgreens, they do pay dividends of 4.308%. So you're going to make money two ways when you purchase Walgreens. When the stock goes up, the cost of the stock goes up, you're going to make money. And then, of course, you're going to make money when it pays out dividends. Let me talk about dividends for those of you who are new. And again, for those of you who are just joining us, thank you for joining us. And I have a bunch of different cameras going around in my house right now, so that's why I'm looking around for bloggers, YouTubers, and then for those of you who are on live, okay? And then some people are still calling me. All right, so I'm trying to do multiple things at the same time. But let me talk to you about let's talk about, they're asking me if we're on. Let's talk about what was I going to say? Let's talk about the dollar. We talked about the dollar amount. Let's talk about the dividends. That's what I was going to say. Let's talk about dividends. I'm sorry. Dividends is let me explain dividends and why it's good that you purchase the one with dividends. And for those of you who are have been on here a while, you know we usually put the dividends calendar up. We'll put the dividends calendar on the page so that you can see when a particular company is paying dividends. First of all, in order to get some of the dividends, you have got to own the stocks. You have to own the stocks, all right? So watch this. This is how dividend work. Let me use one, for example. Let's use what I just mentioned. Let's use Walgreens. Walgreens, they do pay dividends. CVS pays dividends of 2.817. Walgreens at 4.308. What are dividends? The owners of the company, the CEO, the CFO, the executive officer, the financial officer, those guys and the owners of the company, they will all get together once a quarter. They have what they call a quarterly earnings meeting, and they will make a projection of what we are expected to earn over the next quarter. Now, I'm using Walgreens as an example. So now let's say Walgreens, they got together 3 months ago, and they said, over the next 3 months, we're going to make $10 million. That's projected. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. So they're projecting Walgreens going to make $10 million. And then at the end of the quarter, they get together again. And the CFO, the CEO, the owners of the company, they get together and what they call an earnings call meeting. And we posted the calendar so you can know when these different companies are having their earnings call meeting. When they have the meeting, the CFO has to get up and brief. Of course, usually before they even have the meeting, they already know the numbers, but they're briefing everyone to say, 3 months ago, 90 days ago, we projected that we will have made $10 million. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We made $15 million. So that means that they went over projection. So now they went over by $5 million. That is why these owners of the company, the CFO, the CEO, those guys, they make millions of dollars off the top. Because off of that $5 million that they went over, they're going to make distribution to all of the individuals who owns the stock. So you must own the stock to get some of that $5 million. Of course, the people at the top, they're going to get a whole lot of that $5 million. They're going to get a lot of it. The owner, the CFO, the CEO, they're going to get a lot of it. And then once they've made distribution to those individuals, they're going to turn around and everybody else who owns some of Walgreens, we mentioned Walgreens, everyone else who owns some of Walgreens will make some of that money. So the more stock you own in Walgreens, the more money you will make from earnings. And they do that once a quarter. All right, now let me flip that around on the other side. For those who've been on, and so we said Walgreens, if they got together 3 months ago and they said over the next 3 months we're going to make $10 million. But now we get together and we said, okay, we underestimated. We said 10, but we only made 8. So they were short by $2 million. That means that these individuals, they don't get that money. They don't get that money. And then those who owns the stock at the low end, they're not going to get a lot of anything, if anything at all, because they went under. So with the owners and the CFO, the CEO, it's better to always try to go under to go under rather than over. In other words, it's good that most of them probably want to say we can make $20 million over the next quarter. Well, we don't want to shoot that high and hurt ourselves. Let's say we're going to make 10 so that we know we can make 20, but let's say we're going to make 10 so we can be in the numbers instead of in the green rather than in the red. Let's try to make over budget, not over budget, but overestimate rather than underestimate. We want to say that we're going to make 10, hopefully we make 15 or even 20, rather than say we're going to make 10 and then we only make 8 or 7 or 6 or whatever the case may be. And then, of course, different triggering events happens that affects the market. It affects the market drastically. Number one, we know over the past few months and even still what's going on now, we can only have one president of these United States of America at a time. So even though we have a president, we have a president-elect, all right? And so the president is still, what comes out of his mouth is still affecting the market. It's still affecting the market. And so we don't know, the market is going to be rough. It's going to be rough. It's going to be wavy until at least January the 20th when we have seated a new president, and then everybody's going to watch the market, the people in the market, the owners of these big businesses and huge corporations. They're going to listen to what comes out of his mouth and what he does. But now let's go to some of these pharmaceutical companies. Why aren't they doing well? Well, because we know two companies in particular, Moderna, which is mRNA, and then Pfizer. They are on the market, and their job is to develop a vaccine for the coronavirus. All right? So those two companies, for the most part, not to say that others are not doing it as well, but those two, and Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson, they're the top 3 companies to make a vaccine for coronavirus. And all right, so a whole lot of money is being poured into those companies. Well, sometimes the president will say things that will cause those companies' stocks to fall, or he can say things that cause those stocks to rise. So my point is that the president affects the market. Number 2, unemployment. Unemployment affects the market. Why? Because if people does not have jobs, what are they doing? They're selling their stocks to survive or to make ends meet. It's called a sell-off. They're selling their stock, and that affects the market. When certain things happen, everybody wants to run in and sell stocks, and then that affects the market because people want to get their money out before something happens, something terrible happens, and so that affects the market. I don't care what happened. I usually leave my money in there because what goes down, it's gonna come back up. Except for with the crash that we had in 2008. All right. So those are two things that affect the market, and then of course we said unemployment. We said what the president does, and then of course the last thing, the top three. There's other things, but the top three. The last thing is this virus that's going on. And people are not traveling like normal, all right? So they're not using the airliners, they're not using the cruise liners, they're not going on vacation, so they're not using hotels for the most part. So all of those businesses, their numbers are down. So it is affecting the market drastically, horribly. So please be mindful of that. Please be mindful of that. All right? Once again, let me go back to this for beginners, and I think I'm over time right now. But beginners, when you purchase the stock, hold on to it, buy low and hold. If you have Robinhood, now I don't know Stash, I don't know Ameritrade, I don't know Merrill Lynch, but I have Robinhood. And so if you have Robinhood, there's a search button on Robinhood. Put the word cannabis. If you put the word cannabis, all of the marijuana stocks will show up. Research all of them. Some good ones, write this down if you're listening. Some good ones to have is Afria, we talked about on last night. Cron, C-R-O-N. Afria is A-P-H-R-I-A. Those are some good marijuana stocks to get into. Now, I don't have that up tonight with me, but if you just put cannabis out there, all of the marijuana stocks will come up. Then you can look at the price to see which one you want to get into. Why? Because the news came up that the other day that a whole lot of the states on the East Coast are looking into, and then we have a president-elect who believes in medical marijuana. All right, and so they're going to pass that for a lot, as well as recreational. So they're going to pass that. So I'm looking for the marijuana stocks to shoot up. So what I've done, I've purchased a whole lot of them, particularly because they're at penny stocks. Now, what is the definition of a penny stock? The definition of a penny stock is any stock that costs less than $5. If a stock costs less than $5, that's considered a penny stock. And then, of course, when the stock goes beyond $5, it's not a penny stock anymore. And then, of course, blue chip stocks are those expensive stocks. Those are $150 and more. All of those are blue chip stocks. So it's best to buy a whole lot of penny stocks and hold on to it. You can watch your penny stocks grow. For those of us and some of our viewers, back in July, the week after the 4th of July, some people made $7,000, $6,000, $4,000 a day off of NIO. And we know, I don't know if Angie got on. I think Angie's on. Angie made some pretty good money with NIO a few weeks ago. I made a whole lot of money with NIO a few months ago, back in July, because it was on the move. It was a penny stock. It was at $1. It was at $1 and something per share. I bought it at $1 I bought it at $1.32 per share, and then as of today's closing, we see that NIO is at $46.10. So imagine for those individuals who bought 100 shares or 500 shares of NIO when it was at $1.32, how much their money has increased, because now it's at 46. As of today's close, it's at $46.10. So what I did back in July is I bought 100 shares of NIO, because it was at $1 and some change, and then I turned around and I got into the trade option, and I had calls, and then I'm trying to stay away from that because that's too advanced for the beginners. And we're going to talk about that on Thursday night. I bought 100 shares of NIO back in July, because I'm looking at mine now. I bought it, and I'll be honest with you, I bought 100 shares, and then because at one point it wasn't doing well. It wasn't doing well at all. So I sold 50 shares. But right now, that means that I own 50 shares of NIO. And NIO, according to this, has made me $2,305 since July. Now, remember, I only paid like $135 for 100 shares. And then I sold 50 shares. All right, so you divide the 135 by 2 or whatever, and half, all right? So what's that? Like 60 something dollars is what I started out with. Now it's worth $2,305 worth of NIO that I have for my 50 shares. All right, of NIO. So please understand that, because it's at 15. It is at $46.10. NIO. A whole lot of stocks are out there like that. If you research the penny stocks, purchase the penny stock and watch it grow. And when I say purchase the penny stocks, I don't want you to buy one share of something that costs $1.35. No, put some money into it. Put some actually funds into it. Increase your buying power, and then put some money into a couple of different penny stocks and watch it grow. Now, on Thursday night, we're going to come back, and that's going to be for the advanced individuals, so we can show you how to make a whole lot of money per day with buying and trading, or calls and puts. We'll talk about that on Thursday night, because I don't want to talk about that tonight, because there's a whole lot of beginners on tonight, and I don't want to get too much over their head or too advanced for them. All right, so that's, I just wanted to explain to you how the penny stocks work. It is worth buying the penny stock, and sometimes you gotta be, you gotta have patience. Sometimes you're gonna buy a particular stock. We're not talking trade option, and then you're gonna lose some money. But then you're gonna see it turning around. Now, if I were you, you all, like I'm about to do this week, I have a pretty good buying power. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and purchase a whole lot of penny stocks, right? Because of the fact that we're getting settled with a new president next January the 20th, and then hopefully the market turns around. And then once we get the coronavirus under control, the market's going to really turn around. So you want to get those penny stocks now. Again, the definition of a penny stock is any stock that costs less than $5 per share. Purchase, and then what I told you about the search button, you can search any stock like that. You can look up Airlines, and all of the airline companies will come up, and then you can invest in what airline company you want to. Buy low and hold. You can look up cruise liners, and Carnival and Royal Caribbean and Norwegian. All of them will come up. Look at the one, buy low and hold. Buy low and hold. Okay? And then again, you can look up pharmaceutical company or pharmacies, and CVS and Walgreens, and everything that falls in the pharmacy will come up. Look up cannabis, and everything that falls under marijuana will come up. We're asking you to buy and invest in it, not to smoke it. All right, not to smoke it, to buy and invest in it. All right, so that's how it works with penny stocks. That's how I made a whole lot of money on my penny stock, because a whole lot of stocks that I own now, and they're worth hundreds of dollars, they used to be under $1. So what I did is I always buy at least 100 shares. So when it goes up like NIO did, NIO just the week after the 4th of July was just at $1 and some change, right? And now NIO is at $46.10 per share, all right? And so for those who are just getting on, Angie, it's good to see you. You're on. It's good to see you. Glad you can get on. I don't know if Kadera is still there. Kadera, if you're there, say what's up to us. It's good to see you, and glad that you're with us. Malcolm, Brandon, that is Brandon. It's good to see you that you're there as well. All right. We were talking about a whole lot of stuff tonight, Angie, that has to do with beginners. We're trying to stick with for the beginners tonight and how it works. The stock market works. Now, for those of you who are having some problem with your Robinhood app, now I'm not an expert or technical expert with the application, so there is a place there that you can send them a message and tell them the problem that you're having, and they will get right back to you. No, I won't say right back to you, but they'll get back to you and explain what's going on. All right, and then of course we're reserving Thursday night. We're reserving Thursday night for the advanced individuals, so we'll talk more calls and puts on Thursday night. The market was not all of that good today. Expected. It was better than usually for a Tuesday. It was better than usual for a Tuesday, because I see that I made a whole lot of money for a Tuesday. That's unusual. I made a whole lot of money today on the market for a Tuesday, but then after market, it looks like I lost $143. All right. So yesterday for a Monday, I made a whole lot of money on yesterday as well. So watch this. So again, buy low, buy those inexpensive stocks. Sometimes don't panic. You are going to lose some money, because we're going through this thing in the market where the market is going with, what I call it, I call it we're playing racquetball. For those of you who know how to play racquetball, I'm sorry, ping pong. The ball goes up. That's what the market is doing. That's what the market is going up and down and up and down. So it's the ping pong effect. And so that is to be expected until a new president is seated. That is to be expected until the economy turns around. That is to be expected until unemployment gets better. And so is that stuff going to happen overnight? No, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen over time, but not overnight. And so it's good to, some of these stocks that are dropping, that is the best time to buy it. Buy low and hold because they are going to go back up. Once again, let me say to you to go and find that search button on your app and just put a word in. You can put soda, and all of this company that produces soda will come up, the Coca-Cola and the Pepsi. So, some always ask, what should I invest in? What do you wear? What do you buy? What do you eat? What do you drink? If you drink Budweiser, then invest in Budweiser. If you drink Coke, then invest in Coke. If you drink Pepsi, then invest in Pepsi. Where do you shop? If you shop at Walmart, then purchase what Walmart started. For a store like that, their stock is very slow growth. It grows, but it's very slow. You would think that Walmart stock was skyrocket, but it does not. It's very slow. It's growth, but it's slow growth. What do you wear? You wear Nike, purchase Nike. You wear Polo, purchase Polo. Of course, I have a whole lot of Polo. All right, so that's how you would look at it. Where do you spend your money is where you should invest, because now, what does that mean? You're putting that money right back in your pocket, right? Because when I buy all these Polo clothes and Nike clothes, et cetera, I'm shopping at those places, but then when I'm sleeping, money's, or when other people are buying that stuff too, they're putting some of that money right back in my pocket. So I look at it as pretty much a discount. All right, in addition to military discount. All right, so wherever you shop, whatever you eat, wherever you wear, whatever you drink, look up those things. And then sometimes it's good to go with the opposite, because you might drink Pepsi, but Coke is a better stock to purchase. You might wear a Nike, right? But sometimes Nike is not better than another company. So go with the other company, whatever this best one. So I want you to look at all of the different companies with all of the different options. And then sometimes now, if you're coming in late into the market, if you're coming into the market late, that means that some of these stocks are rather expensive already. So if you're not willing to spend the money to purchase it where it's at now, it's rather expensive already. If you look at Zoom, Zoom is a new product. Zoom is a new stock. Zoom, they put Zoom on the market and it flew off the shelf. Now, what do I mean by that? Zoom went on the market. It was never a penny stock, because Zoom went on the market at about $35 per share. So when I purchased it, I don't know how many I have. When I purchased it, I purchased Zoom. I'll get right back to you. I purchased Zoom, and I have Zoom, and then I bought, go back there. I bought 33, I have 33 shares of Zoom. I have 33 shares of Zoom, and I bought most of it when it was under $100, right? So when you look at Zoom now, it is at $402.54 as of today's closing. So that's how much money I've made for those 33 shares. Now, I didn't buy all 33 shares at the same time. Sometimes when I look at the report and I see Zoom is flying off the shelf, I'm like, hey, something's going on. Let me purchase more of this. Zoom really became active when they shut the country down and shut the churches down and shut all the schools down. And so everybody was like, so what do we do? What do we do? So we have to have some kind of platform. Those individuals from Zoom, now they're multi-billionaires when they weren't before. So they're thankful for the virus, because that stock is going to level off when everything turns around, because people will not be using Zoom as much. Zoom pretty much was always a free platform with commercials, but now they changed it around. They've changed it around. You can have the free one that you can only have a certain amount of minutes on it and a certain amount of individuals on it at the same time. Or you can purchase it, you can buy the Zoom and then pay an annual amount or a monthly amount. And so they're making a whole lot of money from something that started out free to now you have to pretty much buy it if you want to really get some good use out of it. All right, so that is pretty much it for those of you who are new individuals. I just wanted you to know All right, Angie, I see what you said. You good, Deborah. All right, all right, very good, Michelle. I see what you said. Um, Brandon, I see your question. Now, Brandon, so Brandon says when you buy in dollar amount, how does it calculate into a gain? It's the same thing, Brandon. Like when you buy the whole share and that share is making money, it's the same thing for the dollar amount. Now, if all of you, I don't know what platform you all are watching me on, but we did this. We did this on last night. We did it on last night. What we did on last night, we look at Berkshire A. We looked at Berkshire A, and Berkshire A. If y'all want to go there real fast, we know that if you look up in it's BRK period A. If you look up Berkshire A, there's two of them. There's two of them. Brandon, Berkshire A is $349,546 per share. That's what Berkshire A is. $349,546 per share. Guess what, Brandon? I have some of it. I have some of it. So when it makes money, I make money, and it made Berkshire A, as you can see, today only made $6. But how much did it make yesterday? Yesterday it made $7,000. It made $7,000 in one day. So to answer your question, I'm not sure about the calculation and how they do it on depending on how much. For example, when I bought it, first I bought like $1,000 worth, and then $1,500 worth, and $2,000 worth, or whatever the case may be. Now I'm seeing that now when it goes up, I'm making money as well, because since I've had Berkshire, it says I've made $12,024 off of that in my dollar amount. In other words, I didn't buy the whole thing, right? I didn't buy the whole 300,000. But when I purchased it, first of all, it wasn't even 300,000. It was less than 300,000. And so I purchased dollar amounts of it, and now I've made $12,000 off of that dollar amount. So I'm not sure about the calculation, but I know there's a way they do it so that you're getting the same thing in dollar amounts, and then for those who have the whole share. Individuals like Warren Buffett and Mike Bloomberg, those individuals, that's nothing for them to buy 10 or 15 of that for them. That's nothing, because these guys, when I get around and play with my app during the day, an application, and buying stuff and selling stuff at what I can afford, can you imagine what those guys are doing at their level? When Mike Bloomberg, for example, and these guys have $64.5 billion. So it's nothing for them to lose $20 million a day. I mean, he took his money and played around to run for president. I mean, he could have given me that and just sit down somewhere. All right. We're at 53 minutes, and it was not my intention to stay on that long, but we had some beginners, and I don't know if there are any other questions, but once again, I am going to leave this on here until about midnight tonight. Then I'm going to take it from here and drop it over on the YouTube channel, so those who are overseas can have access over there and watch it at any time that they so desire, because sometimes they're in places they can have access to YouTube, but they can't have access to social sites like Facebook. All right, so that's the reason I'm doing that for that. Am I making money off of YouTube? Nope. Do I need to make money off of YouTube? Nope. And so tell your friends, please, to subscribe to the channel. The channel is Tim McKenzie. McKenzie is McKinzie. Go and follow, subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell so that you will get to those up-to-date moment notification when I make posts during the day. I'm warning you, please buy some of this or sell this if you have it, whatever the case may be, because I'm looking at the financial news just about all day. I have different applications that tell me what's going on all day. So for what I know, I want my followers to know. So that's the purpose of doing that. All right, if that is it, that's all that I have for tonight. It was not my intention to go this long. And the reason why I didn't want to go long, because when I drop this stuff over to YouTube, it takes a long time when it's longer. So I want to stay under 30 minutes if I can at all help it. But sometimes I can't. And so it's just going to take a long time to drop over there on the YouTube on that side. Okay. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. Please go over to the YouTube and subscribe. Tim McKenzie, McKenzie, and then tell your friends, those that have been on this live, please go over to the YouTube so they can see and hear the recording over there. That's all that I have. Again, thank you for joining me on tonight. We'll see you definitely not on tomorrow night, but we'll see you on Thursday night, right here, live on Stocks Talk Live with Tim. Thank you.